What's up? What's happening? It's the one and only Jeff Baxter from the Hoop Panel. Down with my man Desmond Sane from the Juco Kings podcast, the owner, creator, proprietor, all that. And we decided to collab, come up Hoop Junkie 1 on all social media platforms. How's everything going with you, man?
Pretty smooth, man. Pretty smooth. I'm excited about this, man. I'm glad you reached out and we can come together and collab. This is something good, man.
For sure. We just want to get started. I'm from Maryland. He's from Detroit, Michigan. Two extremely talented powerhouses in basketball. Put out a lot of NBA and WNBA talent. And we're just going to start about, our origins, about how we got into the game, how we want to cover the game. He has a great podcast talking about players from junior college that made it to the NBA and made it overseas. It's a slept-on platform. It's a slept-on way to get to where you need to go. So please follow, share, subscribe, like anything that Juco Kings podcast has going on. We're going to get started about him in Michigan. Then we'll talk about me and my failed hoop dreams from Maryland. I'm only 5'7", so I'm not – his story's better than mine. So we'll just get started with him.
You ain't failed, man. Only thing was just you ain't try hard enough. That's all. You never fail. You never fail, man. Trust me, you never fail.
But yeah, just tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, like you said, I'm from Detroit. Played at Western International High School. I was won some all-league honors, all-state honors, honorable mention, all of that. Ended up going JUCO, played 2 years at a JUCO, then played another year at a D2 NAIA, and then just worked hard, man, and ended up getting a professional contract, multiple professional contracts. I actually made the G League draft 1 year. I was in the G League draft, went undrafted, then I worked. I went to training camp with the Texas Legends for training camp workout, if you want to call it that, and then ended up getting cut. I guess I wasn't tall enough. Something you probably can say, but
yeah, I'm only 5'7" for those that can't see. I'm just sitting down so I can look a little taller. I'm only 5'7".
Yeah, and then ended up playing in the PBL, in the TBL, and in the PBA. So I got some professional background behind me, and then now if a contract came, I'd probably take it. But now just doing the podcast and getting into actually training and stuff like that. So
that's what's up. It's well needed, man. Somebody with your background to definitely show the next generation on different nuances and things to do. And I saw some footage. Desmond definitely got a great jumper, so it's not cat.
A lot of hard work, man. That's why it's funny that people was making fun of what Cat said when he was like, man, I shot 1,500 jumpers the other day when he had a bad game. People was like, there's no way he shot 1,500 jumpers. And I'm like, there's a way, because my philosophy in college was 1,000 a day make the defense pay. So, and I literally shot 1,000 shots a day. I had 1,000 makes. I'm not going to say I had 1,000 makes, but I shot 1,000 shots a day. I wake up at 5, lift, work out with my coach. Then after me and him work out, before I go to class, I'll get 150 makes in. Then I'll go to class. After that class, come back to the gym, get 250 makes, go to class, go to my next class, then go to lunch. And then while I'm at lunch, my teammates say, what's going on, bro? What we doing? We ain't got no more classes. I'm like, I'm going back to the gym before practice. I'll get 300 makes in. And then after practice, I'll get another 5. So I literally shot 1,000 shots a day. So that's why you're saying man, he could shoot. It wasn't always that. High school, I probably averaged 20, 25, but it was all mid-range work and dunks. If you was under the rim, you was getting dunked on. So it was one of them type things. And then as college progressed, as I progressed in college, it was more so just getting shots up and focusing on that. I still look boogie on you, but I was more so focused on getting the mid-range and the 3 off. Oh,
so you was picking your spots more so?
Yeah, and it's funny. I tell people, because when people be like, how you average that? But I was in a messed up situation. That's something we could talk about later. But the breakdown is it's 4 quarters. And I learned this in 7th grade. It's 4 quarters. If you make 3 shots per quarter, that's 24 points. So I literally would and I played a 1. So first bucket of the game is coming from me, because I'm gonna walk you down. And my main thing was I set everything up. I'll give you an in and out. give you an in and out, and it's either a midi or a dunk, depending on like how hard you bite on the in and out. The next one or the next time I go to make that move, like it might be a couple possessions go by, I'm gonna come back. Now you didn't bid on the first in and out. I'm gonna give you an in and out to see if you bite. If you don't bite, I got an in and out cross, and that goes to a pull up. So now you second guessing everything. Now the third time it come, it's either gonna be an in and out cross or in and out, just a regular in and out, something one of those two to a behind the back. And I literally I'll do that from the top of the key, then the next quarter from the left wing, in the next quarter from the right wing. And then fourth quarter, I probably, because I know I done got everything I want to get, I'm just worried about getting dunks. Like I literally, that's, thrilling the crowd.
Taking the easy passes. Yeah, cutting and yeah, I got
you. Yeah, so all that it was easy. Like, that's why I say, like, I was in a messed up situation because it never showed that I had, like, I had a couple games where I had like 35, 35, 40. I had a 50 ball a couple times. And then but nobody never knew about it because my coach, his son was on our team.
Oh,
so he used to, coaches got to turn in paper, like for the newspaper, turn in stats. Mm-hmm. All my stats always said I had 10 points and 10 assists. And I'm like, how? Like literally, I think it might have been 2 games. And I went to that school for 3 years, 2 games in 3 years that I had like maybe like 17, and it was in the paper for like 17 or 18. I never had a game in the paper for over 20.
That's sick.
Yeah. That's possibly the reason why I had so many, like I had like coming out of high school, I think I had 7 JUCO offers, but then I had 4-year offers. Yeah. So, but yet again, if it's only in the paper that I'm averaging 10 points and 10 assists, yeah, I'm a good point guard, but at the same time, you messing up my ranking, you messing up college offers, like all of that. Like I think the biggest school I had was Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had, but I didn't, at the time, I didn't know, like that school is the reason why I do my research so much on certain stuff, like with basketball. Cause like I had, it was so much going on that like, I had obviously prom, graduation, and all of that stuff, and figuring out what school to go to, like, because I got everything super late. My AAU coach really got me like all my offers. Like my high school coach didn't give me no offers. Like my sophomore year, he told me Notre Dame called about me, but he was like, yeah, I think I had a 2.5 at the time, and he was like, yeah, your grades ain't good enough. So I told him they don't want you. I'm like, I literally tried to leave the school, but my mom graduated from there. So she was like, yeah, like, I think you should stay there. And plus Detroit is a rowdy city. So like certain schools, you can't no lie, all the good schools in Detroit, it's bound to be about 8 fights in that school in one day. Like every day. Yeah. So it was pretty bad. And I'm like, I wanted to leave, but like me and my brother were there, and I was like, I can't just leave him. And then my mom was like, yeah, like I graduated from there. I would love for you to graduate from there. So ended up staying. And it sucked because my coach's son was the same class as me. So it was like he was starting, I'm starting, but he's getting all my points. Literally. But
that's wild.
It's wild. Let's skip past all of that.
All right, so my background story is not that deep or intriguing. I'm gonna just be real. I didn't make it on my high school team, just to be honest. I wasn't good enough. The point guard and shooting guard on my high school team actually did go on to become college players. Okay. So the one guy, his name is Devon Sadler. He became the all-time leading scorer at the University of Delaware. From 2010 to 2014, only Doug McDermott scored more points than him in college. We got a theory about why he didn't make the league. We don't understand how he didn't get offered or drafted or anything like that. And then another player that was a shooting guard was Devon Branch. And he went to Pittsburgh State, if I'm not mistaken. And when they played Andrew Wiggins in 2011, he scored 35 points against him. So I wasn't beating that out.
That name sounds familiar though. Like, was he ever had like a hoop mixtape or something like that?
I think so. Like he was supposed to go to University of Oregon. Like something happened. I don't know what. I don't want to speak on his business. Like we cool, but like I don't know him well enough to say what happened on why he didn't go to University of Oregon. But Devon Branch was one of the best players I played with. Okay. Like we do like runs and whatnot. I just got him the ball, got the hell out the way.
That's classic.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a decent hooper, but coming from Maryland, you just know the levels. You know the D3, D2, D1, and Maryland's smaller than like all these other states that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get through Maryland in like an hour and a half just driving through.
Damn.
Like we're very small, bro.
See, Detroit is small. Like Detroit is a small city, but it's like it's big when you in it, but it's small compared to other cities. Like if that makes sense.
That's how Baltimore is. I
Yeah,
got you.
like you can go from like my school, like where I was at, it was Western, and then it's Southwestern, like probably like maybe 10 minutes away.
That's
Then
what Jalen Rose went, right?
yep, Southwestern, yep.
Oh,
And then you got like, so I'm on, like if you take a certain street, like my school is on this one street called Scotton. If you take Scotton and then make a right and then make a left on this street called Grand Boulevard, go up that street for like 10 minutes, you at Northwestern. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's schools like all around, like it's a lot of schools, but they all like close to each other. Like it's where, you know who Keith Applin is, went to Michigan.
yeah, Michigan State, right?
So Pershing is on like 7 Mile and damn, I can't think of the street, but Pershing is off 7 Mile. It's on the east side. Pershing is on 7 Mile. Osborne is down the street on 7 Mile. Literally like 10 minutes down the street. And they like rival schools because they so close.
Mm.
Like it's a lot of schools like that in Detroit.
Yeah, I didn't know like all those schools were in that close proximity. That's real interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like I think the furthest school was like Redford and Cooley, like them two playing each other. Redford was on. It's technically Detroit, but it's not. It's called Redford. That's a city like in Michigan. It's called Redford, Michigan, but that school sits on the cusp of like right there on the edge of Detroit, and then you drive. They got to drive a little ways to get to Cooley. Like they played against each other and they were like rivals. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, like that's why I come through when I cover the game. I try to be respectful. I know how much work it takes to be a professional basketball player. My hometown of Aberdeen, Maryland, we put out some NBA talent. We were talking before we recorded, and Gary Neal was the first NBA player from my hometown. He had like a 8-year career, good shooter for the Spurs. That's probably his best known stint. Brianna Jones, she's probably the best to come from our area. She's a multiple-time All-Star for the Connecticut Sun. Mm-hmm. And she won state championships in Aberdeen High. Was averaging 25 a game for like 4 years straight. She was different.
Yeah, that's
cool. Man. And then we have Emmanuel Quickly, starting guard for the Toronto Raptors. I seen him play when he was 11 years old. And he dropped 25 points in the game winner off a step back at 11 years old. He played just like Lou Will back then.
Damn. See, Detroit, we got a lot of talent that's like under the radar. Like it's a guy, his name is Isaiah Sykes. Now, Isaiah, he played at UCF. He was there with Marcus Jordan when Michael Jordan's son went to college.
All right.
He was there with him, but the dude Isaiah was a star. And like how you said, you saw Emmanuel Quickly play when he was 11. When Isaiah was in 3rd grade, he dropped 50. Like, mind you, he wasn't even that tall back then. Like now he's like
8?
Yeah.
It's in 3rd grade.
Like he come from a basketball family. Like they like his older brother. I played with his older brother my freshman year. We played on JV together at this one school. And then his brother that's like a year or so older than him, he might be the one that wasn't like all the way into basketball, but he was good. He was a good defender. Then it's him, and then his youngest brother. They said his youngest brother was supposed to be better than him, but he didn't pan out to be. But Isaiah, he still play right now. Like he played, I think he in Saudi Arabia right now. But 6'6", 230, but he can play the 1 through 4. He can guard your 4 man. He can play the 4 because he's big as hell. He like I said, he 230 at 6'6". He can handle the ball. He can shoot. He can pass. He a freak athlete. Like he can dunk. He dunking on whoever down there. But like in 3rd grade, he dropped 50.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. And then like who else we got that's under the radar? We talked before getting on Jordan Crawford. See,
That's
like,
my favorite role player all time.
yeah, it's like Jordan and his brother. I don't know if you know who his brother is. His brother went to Kentucky.
Oh yeah. I forgot his name. I know you talk about though. He's a little older, but
Joe Crawford.
yeah, Joe. Yeah.
Joe was a bucket in high school. Like he was an All-American. And then like even dude that he played with at Renaissance, his name was Malik. Malik was a freak athlete and could just score. Like he was a killer. Then like somebody else who was he was a Jordan Brand All-American. His name is Deshaun Sims. He went to Michigan with Manny. He was at Michigan with Manny Harris. I don't know if you know who Manny Harris is.
I know Marion Harris. He used to play for the Cavs for a little bit. He was a bucket too.
Yeah, he played for the Cavs, played for the Lakers, and he played like in the G League for a couple years too, like with the Texas Legends. Funny story. I think the reason I got cut is because he was coming back. Like they was bringing him and Chris Doug. That's another one. Chris Doug played at Memphis.
Oh, Douglas Yeah.
They were bringing them two down when I was in the draft, or working out with the Texas Legends. So I kind of was salty. I'm like, damn, I got cut. Then I seen like them during the season. I'm like, oh, they cut me because they brought these two dudes down. I'm like, two dudes from my city, so I can't really be mad.
And they had NBA experience too. So
yeah,
it wasn't like you just got cut for just some random dude. So.
Yeah, nah, facts. If it would have been somebody else, even if they was good and had NBA experience, I'd be like, nah, I ain't going. Because they're from my city, I'm like, I'll let it ride.
But real briefly, before we get to the next topic, I just wanted to explain the DMV to some people who aren't familiar. They just think that when you say DMV, it means all of Maryland, all of Virginia. That's not the case at all. So for those that aren't aware, DMV is Washington, D.C., Prince George County, Maryland, Montgomery County, Maryland, and Arlington and Alexandria, Virginia. They don't reach down to Hampton Roads, Virginia. That's where AI is from. Cam Thomas, they got some other players. They don't reach out to Baltimore, where you got Sam Cassell, Melo, Rudy Gay, Cam Whitmore. So it's really Washington, D.C. and friends. So whenever you hear DMV, you're like, oh, he's from the DMV. He's from Washington, D.C. and surrounding areas.
So question though, with that, is all of that like connected? Like, you know how like when they draw barriers or something like that on a map, like is it like in a radius, like they all in the same radius type thing?
Okay, so Baltimore and DC is only 45 minutes away from each other.
Okay.
They hate each other. It's a whole thing, like a whole bunch of irrelevant, stupid shit why they hate each other, but they do. Prince George County and Washington, D.C., you can walk from Prince George County to Washington, D.C. D.C. is small as shit.
Damn.
So, like, it's literally certain cities, like where Kevin Durant's from, Suitland, you can walk 5 minutes and be in Washington, D.C. So that's real close proximity. In Arlington, Alexandria, Virginia is only about 5 to 10 minutes from Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. So that's all.
Yeah, all that from Prince George County all the way to Arlington and Alexandria, and they really don't even count them. I'm just saying they do when it comes to comedy. They'll grab them Virginia comics, but basketball-wise, it's pretty much Washington, D.C. and Prince George County, Maryland.
Okay.
So all of that is probably within a 30-mile radius of each other.
Okay, yeah, that's small as hell. Like,
yeah.
Like people be saying Flint. People be saying Flint close to Detroit, and I'm like, Detroit. It's about a 45-minute drive, but nobody really be like. Only time people from Flint come to Detroit is like summer, like in the summertime when it's a league going on. It's like, oh yeah, like I got this guy from Flint coming, so like we good, like that type of thing. Or somebody from Saginaw. Saginaw is like an hour and a half away from Detroit.
It's that far? I didn't know it was that far from you.
Yeah, like where I live at now, I live on the outside of Detroit. Like I'm like 30 minutes outside of Detroit, so it take me literally like an hour to get to Saginaw. Because my girl, she from Saginaw, so. Like when we go up there, she'll drive and it literally take like an hour.
Oh, okay. Because I remember Draymond was like, yo, if I leave the Warriors, I want to go back home to Detroit. As I was like, I thought it was closer, but that makes sense.
Yeah, but he was here a lot. Like he actually was with Rasheed and them and the Pistons all the time. Because him and Jordan Dumars was like best friends.
I remember he had said that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like with Maryland, I just feel like we have so much talent because we're so small compared to these other places. And I think it was from 2000 to 2010, we had 35 draft picks come out of state.
That's crazy. So, that is like crazy. I think the most, like, I can't say the most we've had in the league, but like Detroit, I think we have, like, I'm not gonna say we have a league stigma where it's like you can't draft them, but the most we'll get is like somebody getting a big offer at a 4-year, like a big D1. You know what I mean? Like we had Keith at Michigan State. We had Devin Marble at where was he at? He was at Iowa. Then you got, but I think he was from Southfield. Like Southfield is like right outside Detroit too. So it'd be a lot. Like it's weird, like to say, like, when it's somebody that's close to the city, we own them. But like when they in the city and it's like, oh, when you from Southfield, like you ain't from the trenches like that. But
okay.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, like with us more so, it's talent is talent. I mean, I'm a county dude. I'm on the outskirts of Baltimore City. Like, man, county niggas can't play whatever. But like I've had to hear that. But like I said, we put out a couple players from our county.
Oh yeah, like what you said about shit. Manuel Quickly, a starter in the league right now. So, and Gary Neal, I think he was a starter at one point in time with the Spurs. So y'all put a lot of talent out.
Yeah, like before we go to the next topic, New York basketball is overrated. They stay with that we the Mecca shit. If you look at us and y'all compared to, like, they don't put out enough NBA talent. Their best player of the last 25 years, in my opinion, is Kemba Walker. And they don't even show him the love that he deserves.
Yeah, I to be honest, like, I love Kemba, but I think Sebastian might have been the best player to come out of New York.
Like, NBA-wise, I was talking, like, the totality of the career.
Oh,
like,
yeah, well, if you say career-wise, then yeah, like Kemba, but see, even with that, I might have to, if you say career-wise, I might have to go Stephon Marbury.
The last 25, like since 2000?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, since 2000.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Like, you got.
I would say Kemba, like when you break down the career, but if you break down, like, if you say just high school, then I'm gonna say Sebastian Telfair.
I dig that. I just don't like how they always talk about how they the Mecca and everybody's supposed to bow down. I'm like, first of all, you don't put out better basketball talent in Indiana. You don't put out better basketball talent than Seattle, Texas, Georgia, Maryland, New Jersey. I'll take y'all ahead of them.
I think what it is though with the NBA, when they make the NBA, they don't stick because they like so caught up in the New York style of basketball. Like if you look at like how you say like people from the DMV, like you got KD, you got Quinn Cook, you got Mike Beasley. Like Mike Beasley, he's a different. His story is a little bit different for his league situation. But like when you look at people from Detroit, like we got like a grit and grind, but we got a little flash. Then you go to like Indiana, like you said, like they a fast-paced playing like style. I don't know how, but they just love playing at a fast pace. Like look at Jeff Teague. Like Jeff Teague was really a bucket in the league, but his mentality wasn't like I'm a team guy because he always been the man. So when you get somebody who always the man, when they get to the highest level, they want to be the man still. And they like he didn't know that, I got to take a role. He learned it later on because he said it. He said Derek Fisher told him like, hey, it's roles in this, like it's roles in the league. You're gonna have to learn that. And then he said like years down the line, when he was like pushed to the corner, he like, oh shit, like it is roles to this. So like Indiana got players like that, but New York is just every time I got it, I'm at you. Like that's the mentality they have, and I feel like that's why they don't, stick all the time. But Kemba learned it. Kemba actually adapted. I think the most he averaged was like 7 assists 1 year.
Oh, he wasn't passing it at all. He
but he figured it out though. Like and on top of that, he ended up in a good space. Like a lot of times with the NBA, like if you don't end up in a good space, like with a team that's not behind you, like it's gonna be tough. And I feel like with New York Hoopers, like they don't get they don't land where they could be the man at. Like I said, he ended up in Charlotte. He went to the Bobcats when the Bobcats were the Bobcats. Like
worst team ever.
Yeah, so he had no choice but to be the man.
Yeah, he's their all-time leading scorer. I just feel like they talk about so many players. It's like, why don't y'all talk about him more? Like, he's been the best in the last 20 years for y'all.
So the thing is, though, like when they talk about being the best, they go back to like Mark Jackson, Kenny Anderson, Kenny Smith. Like they go to those type of guys. Like,
Right.
so it's like, yeah, y'all dominated, but y'all didn't dominate the league like how these dudes is dominating now. Like Mark Jackson, I think he at one point in time the most he averaged was like 13.
Yeah, something like that.
Kenny Smith, he just so happened to be on a good team 2 years back to back.
Nah, he was good in Sacramento though. He averaged like 18 in Sacramento. Like he first came in.
But what was Sacramento doing at that time?
Oh, that was garbage.
So you can average 18, but your team ain't nothing. Like that's what I'm saying. Is like they go back to that. Like, oh, it's the Mecca because they pushed out a lot of talent. They did push out a lot of NBA guys, but that shift, I don't think it ain't been like that in New York for so long.
It's been cold outside post 2000. And that's why it started and made the point. I'm like, man, they still talk this Mecca shit. Like, you got to update your resume, man.
Facts.
Kemba, he's the all-time leading scorer for the Hornets. And after that, you got Lance Stevenson and
but somebody like him, he needed Lance when he first got to the league. He needed to go somewhere like, honestly, he might have needed to come to Detroit. He might have needed to come here because where he could be the guy. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, because when he was in Indiana, it was Danny Granger. Then when Danny Granger went out, it was Paul George. Like when he was at that point where it was like he can be the man, they gave the keys to Paul George.
Right.
Then Paul George got hurt, and he did he get traded when Paul George got hurt, or did he? I think he got traded when Paul George got hurt, and he went to Charlotte.
Yeah, he did because rumor is like he was a problem in the locker room. Like something happened where he did some foul shit. Like they had to get him up out of there.
Oh shit! See, like,
remember they had that little boy band looking ass photo, and then they started losing after that.
Oh yeah.
So like,
but yeah, somebody like him, like he could have been like his name was Born Ready. Like that's a crazy nickname, like on the hoop scene. Like to be like, oh yeah, he was Born Ready. Like that's a dope ass name. And like he's 6'6", like he was cooking in Cincinnati. Like he was my guy. I'm like, yeah, like I fuck with Lance Stevenson. Like I'm like, he gonna be nice. And he wore number 1. So I'm like, oh yeah, he nice. Well, in college, I think he wore 33, but high school he wore number 1.
Which is a nasty fucking number. Like once you get over 30, it's like,
no, 33. Don't do us like that. I wore 33 in high school. Like,
my fault, bro.
No, you still. I had a thing for double numbers at the time, but I only wanted to wear it because like I was my sophomore year I wore 15, and that's because yet again my coach was on some bull. Like he didn't want to order the jersey number 1. He was like, well, I'm not going to order a new jersey just to give one player. I might as well order a bunch of new jerseys, man. We don't have the funding for that. I'm like, bro, it's one jersey. If you want me to pay for it, I'll pay for it. Like it ain't that big a deal. But so like the dude who was a senior, he didn't really get to play like that. He wore 33. And then my junior year, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wear 33 for you, bro. And like I'm gonna rock out for you. And then he was like, all right, cool. So I ended up wearing it my junior and senior year. But freshman year in college, I wore 0. And then after that, I'm like, I'm wearing number 1. Going back to like all AAU, I wore number 1.
Word. So we just want to talk about JUCO players and their impact and guys who's able to get it out the mud, work hard, keep their head down through adversity, and make it to a high level. So I'm gonna let you start off with your list.
Yeah, like we can go with Chris Boucher for Toronto Raptors. He with your boy Emmanuel right now.
Yeah.
And he like researching him. I knew he went JUCO, but researching him, I'm like, bro, he was nice. Like he went to New Mexico, a college in New Mexico. He averaged like 11 and 6. Then he ended up going to Northwest College in Wyoming, and that's really where he got active. Like he took them to like they was 31 and 5. He ended up winning National JUCO Player of the Year. He shot like 63% from the field, 44% from 3. He averaged 20. Oh, wow. Yeah, and that's what's crazy because like looking at his shot now, it's like, yeah, he shot 44%, but he averaged 22 points, 12 rebounds, and he averaged over 4.5 blocks. You know, I think Chris Boucher like 6'10", but he averaged like over 4.5 blocks. He ended up transferring to Oregon. He averaged 12 and 7 there, and he set a single season block record too. He had 110 blocks at Oregon. Yeah, and then but he ended up tearing his ACL his senior year. So like that was that's probably why he went undrafted. But he ended up signing to Golden State, and he was a part of that Golden State team with KD.
Wow, never knew that.
Yeah, he was on that team. He ended up getting waived that summer. They won, so he technically won a ring, but I don't know if I don't know what happened. Like I don't know if he actually got it, but he was on that team when they won. Then he got waived that summer. Ended up going to the Raptors as a free agent, and he actually played. He was on a two-way contract. He was with the Raptors, and then they G League team, the 905. He actually won MVP. He was averaging 27, 11, and 4 blocks. He won MVP that year and Defensive Player of the Year that year. And then that 2019 season, he was on the Raptors when they beat the Golden State Warriors in the championship. So his journey was crazy. Like I really think though, like his fault was, I don't know what happened in high school. Like I have to go back and research that, but his downfall was tearing his ACL, and it was in the Pac-12 tournament too. Like that's what was that, but yeah, but he's nice though. Like he don't really look like it in the league, like because it's like we just talked about it, like having roles. He just looked like a block shots and rebound type of guy.
I remember, I want to say it was like either 2 or 3 years ago. I first knows Boucher on Toronto 905 team. Mm-hmm. They have a really, really good G League system. Like Siakam was down there. It was putting out like a lot of talent. Yeah, I want to say it was either 2 or 3 years ago. He was one of like 3 players with 100 3-pointers made and 100 blocks in the same year. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's happened the past 2 years or so, but this year he's looking like the guy from a couple years ago who was like an impactful role player.
Yeah, when they move pieces around and stuff like that, like dudes get more minutes, they get more everything happens with everything. Confidence builds when you get time. Like if you get the more time you get, the more confidence you get in your game. So if you go from playing 5 minutes to 10 minutes, you be like, damn, I played 10 minutes. I shot the ball I shot 5 times. Okay. Then when you get 15 minutes, you're like, damn, 15 minutes. I shot 7 times. Okay, like that's cool. Then when you get 20 minutes, you're like, man, I played 20 minutes and I shot 15 shots. Like I'm in the offense, like I'm in the flow of the offense. That make you want to work harder. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is just getting time. Like a lot of people don't understand that, but the more time you get, the more confidence you get. So I feel like that's just the biggest thing with him, like is getting that confidence back.
Yeah, he's still a good player. He's already been in the league about 5 years. So that's more than league average. So shout out to Chris Boucher, man. Who else is on your list?
Who else I got? I got your DMV homies. No, well, he ain't from the DMV, but he played with the Wizards right now. Rayshawn Holmes. Yeah. His story a little funny because he went to Moraine Valley Community College in Illinois, but I feel like the only reason he did that is because he had a growth spurt late. Like he went from 6'2" to 6'9", but he didn't get no offers because like he was a 6'2" guard and then he ended up sprouting up to a 6'9" forward. So like, but he was doing his thing there. He got it done. He was an All-American there. He averaged 19, 9 rebounds and 5 blocks. Mm. Yeah, he was doing his thing his sophomore year. Sophomore year was decent, but he was one and done at the JUCO. Like a lot of times when people go JUCO, they go like, they go for 2 years. He was one and done. He did that 1 year, got the All-American honors, and then was like, yeah, I'm out of here. He ended up going to Bowling Green, and that's in Ohio. He went there, and his sophomore and junior year there was actually decent, but his senior year, he like jumped his average up to 15. 8 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks. And he was like that put him in the eyes of all the scouts, like NBA scouts, and he got drafted to the 76ers in 2015. Mm-hmm. He played there for like 3 years, played for the Suns in 2018, played for the Kings from 2019 to 23. And then last year he played with the Mavericks, and then this year, like he just signed with the Wizards.
Yeah, so Rashawn Holmes, the thing that stood out to me, I didn't know he had a 7-inch growth spurt in a year. That's crazy. So having to adjust like that's two different positions. So I'm pretty sure it took a while to.
Yeah, definitely. Most of the time, like when people do that, that's why like people like Paul George, people like Anthony Davis, and who else? Like Carl Anthony Towns. Well, he said he always been tall, but like Paul George, Anthony Davis, they all have like growth spurts, but they keep their skill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why like dudes like that be like so good, because it's like, man, like he kept his skill, but like somebody like him, he had to adjust his game all the way around. Like to where even, recruiting wise, like he probably went from trying to, fill out questionnaires as a guard to like going to open runs, like, yeah, like pass me the ball on the block or throw it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely tough. Like I tip my hat to that, because I don't know what I would be like. Because I think my growth spurt when I was little, I think I went from 5'3" to 5'8", and then 5'8" to 6'1", and then through high school 6'1" to 6'4". So mine was small, but like to go that much in that amount of time is crazy, especially at that point in life. Like you already a senior and you go from 6'2" to 6'9".
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Shout out to him for having a long NBA career. I didn't even know that. Like the thing that stood out about Rashawn Holmes was I'm an hour away from Philly, so we used to go to process games. They'd be like, you get courtside tickets for $35 and shit. So we was running it up.
Oh yeah, like we in here.
Yeah, straight up. Like we just roll up, smoke all the way up there, like pull up in there. Whole car smell like weed. We just
get out. People who next to the car got contact.
That's just what we was on. But Rashawn Holmes, his energies always stood out. Always a great offensive rebounder, good rolling to the basket, developed mid-range jumper. Like was occasionally shooting threes for the Kings. He actually got a bag from the Kings, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he did.
So yeah, shout out to Rashawn Holmes, high energy player. Who was next on your list?
Marshawn Beauchamp. I love this dude because I feel like he one of them people that was like, you know what, I'm gonna bet on myself. Because when he came out of high school, he didn't even want to go to a D1. Like he went straight to though I can't think of the name of it. It's like when people train to go to the league, like where they like what
the joint IMG. You talking about that?
No, not IMG. It's actually a training facility where you go there and you just live there for like a year and you train to go to the NBA. Basically,
where Ricky Leto went, right?
Yep, and what's his name? Kyrie Walker. I think that's his name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I had to like.
I think it's in Texas or something like that. But yeah, he went there. Like he went there for like out of high school. He graduated and he went straight to that. But it was during COVID. Like COVID, basically put that out. Like they shut down. So he ended up going to this school called Yakima Valley. And it's funny because like when I played in the TBL, a team that we played in is in that city called Yakima. They was called the Yakima Sun Kings. It's in Washington. It's up there. It's in Washington. But yeah, like he played there. He averaged 30 there. Averaged 30 and 10. 30, 10, and 5. And then he led the Northwest Atlantic Conference in scoring. He led that. Had a bunch of offers. He had offers from Washington State, Oregon, Texas Tech, Arkansas, and LSU. But he opted out of that, and he bet on himself again. And he just jumped. He signed with the G League Ignite. Played there that season. He averaged 15, 7, and 2, and then got drafted to Milwaukee in 2022. So
my thing with Milwaukee and why I don't think they're going to reach the next level, they don't have enough young talent, in my opinion. And they're not playing this kid. I feel like he deserves some minutes.
Yeah, he definitely do. Like, I think it's an adjustment thing too. Like the thing about the league, like I said, the time you get confidence with time. I know he's confident, but he gotta figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing with the NBA is like, if you don't have it figured out right away, they kind of push you to the wayside. You know what I'm saying? Like unless they giving you a chance, like I think the only like in the last 15 years, the only players to get like the keys and given a chance to mess up was somebody like Dame, Steph, Kyrie, Kimba, like those guys, like they were given a chance to mess up. Like, they got the keys, they playing, they playing at an all-star level, but they losing. Then it's like, okay, now you're playing at an all-star level, but we need you to figure out how to win. Mm-hmm. And then when you figure out how to win, it's like, okay, now you're a superstar. Like you're on that level of being a superstar. Marshawn can be a star. He just need the time and need the adjustment period. Like they need to let him adjust to being the guy. Because like when you get somewhere like, so like you said, you didn't play in high school.
Nah.
But you know how to hoop. Now imagine what it'll be like if you get on the court and your coach is like, hey, need you to lead us. You'll be like, all right, like you ain't gonna know, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna know, you'll know what to do. Like I gotta score, but now you gotta figure out like, where do I score at? When do I pick my spots? When do I pass to this guy? What play we running? So that way I know like I'm gonna get this shot in the offense. That's something to figure out. Then you go back to being on the bench. Then when you go back to being on the bench, you're worried about getting minutes. You're worried about what shots you're gonna take. Then they're like, okay, well, here, get in the game, be the man again. You like, damn, like, it throws you off. Like, I know everybody's favorite saying is like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But being the guy on a professional team is hard to adjust to if you go from being a man to being a role player back to being a man. Like, that's a hard adjustment. Because it's like, obviously, there's more shots. And then, like think about Matthew Dellavedova is a prime example. When Matthew Dellavedova went to St. Mary's, he was the man. Like in college, he was the man. Get to the league, guards is bigger than him, some of the same size as him, some can handle how he played defense, and he's a role player. And when Kyrie got hurt in the finals, he ended up playing the whole game, and he went to the hospital that night. Like he was severely dehydrated because he's not used to being in that setting, like all like that adrenaline, like the crowd, actually having to know how to guard this and that player. Like he just, that's a lot to handle. He ended up having to go. He was severely dehydrated. Like that's a thing. Like you can't just throw somebody in and be like, okay, you've been working out every day, so go play. You can work out, but you can never simulate a real game. And especially not the NBA finals. So that's what I'm saying is like, he'll be okay. He just need time to actually get to being the man.
My only thing, I hope he's okay, but these teams now are so impatient with these young players. If you don't show enough after your first contract, they don't do the mid-level exception anymore, thanks to the bum-ass CBA from CJ McCollum and Grant Williams. I just gotta be real. There's so many talented players not in the league just off a dump.
For sure, definitely.
So, yeah, it's just like I hope he can turn it around, but like I think this is his contract year. And from what I heard, they was trying to trade him so he could free up a spot for Thanasis, even though Thanasis is out all year with an Achilles injury. So I'm a little concerned, man. He's talented though. He's really talented.
Man, get him out of here. I'm sorry. I know you want to keep people happy. You want like Giannis, that's your brother. Giannis needs to get out of that mindset that he was in when he first got to the league. Giannis' mindset when he first got to the league was like, I'm doing this so I can get my family out of the situation that they in. He was doing it to get passports and get them over here, figure it out. Like that's what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. You've been in the league. How long Giannis been in the league? Since what, 2014?
Yeah, like it's like year 12, I think. 12, 13, something like that.
League 10 plus. He been in the league 10 plus. Your brother don't matter no more. Like, I know he take care of you and he makes sure this, he makes sure that. Yeah, you're not a kid no more. Like, he
the Giannis whisperer, yo. He be like calming them down. He the only one that can really.
Hey, if you can't channel your emotions on the basketball court now, then you come on, man. Like, I'm not gonna say you don't need to be in the league, but come on, man. Like, you a grown man. Like, you grown now. Like, when you was 19, 20, 21, it's understandable. Everybody has moments where they like need somebody to, talk to like that. Now you know the ins and outs of the league. You done signed multiple contracts for crazy amounts of money. Like you good now. You got a whole family. You got a family to take care of. Like, the family you was trying to take care of is good now.
Right.
So like, come on. That's all I'm saying is like, man, like at the end of the day, y'all holding up roster spots.
Like, put that nigga on the coaching staff. Y'all got like 15 coaches, in fucking Nike tech suits and shit. Put him on the coaching staff, bro.
Wait, now you ain't got to worry about his contract. You can worry about playing and worry about yours because now he under contract. He can handle his own contract. Now he coaching, or put him as player development. Like, because don't get me wrong, like the Nassers had game. Like he was cooking when he was in the G League. I think he played for the Westchester Knicks, and he was cooking. Like he was nice. It's just NBA is different. It's different. Like that's all I can tell people. It's different. Like I done played against multiple NBA guys, and I'm like, bro, this different. I can hold my own, but it's like, man, this shit different. Like it ain't, like like I watch the Rico Hines runs a lot, but those be the young. That'd be like now it's more so the younger crowd. But when it's like KD, Russ, James Harden, Paul George, you rarely see people miss in that run. And that's, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn that. Like me and my homeboy Isaiah, I was telling you about. When he came home, we had a run. And he was like, he put me hip to it because he was like, man, because he was at UCF. And that ain't too far. That's, I think it's right outside of Orlando.
Yeah.
He was there when Dwight was there. So like he played with Dwight Howard, Jameer Nelson, Rashard Lewis. He played with all of them. And he was like, when we had a run there, we go to 7, all ones. So I'm like, damn, like we be going to 12 and 15 ones and twos when we go to certain runs. And he was like, no, like we need to start going to 7 because when we play to 7, it's more intense and it's all one. So it don't matter what shot you shooting a high quality shot. And that's what I'm saying is like when you go to runs like that, where it's NBA guys, like you like, damn, this shit really different because it ain't too many misses, but games is to 7. So you really got to lock in and actually try to stop the person you guard. Like when you go to 12 or 15, you'll give up a couple open shots. Like when you go on to 7, you ain't giving up too many open shots. You like, no, like we getting after it.
Like it's so many small nuances. Like when you see guys warming up, or when you've been on the court with these type of players, like how quick you gotta get the shot off. Like just people don't even think about that type of stuff. Like I said, I didn't play at a high enough level, but I know a decent amount. It's just like certain nuances and just just seeing guys warm. I think I seen Harden warm up before. I was like, damn.
Yeah, like when D Rose was here, when he was in Detroit, I watched him warm up, and he was doing stuff like this was what year was that? I want to say it was like 2021. It was that 2021 season when they like started letting fans come back in the game and to watch the games. And he was using like I can't even tell you what it was. It's like a it's like it looked like a little pillow. It's not a pillow, but the I think it's a Bunsen ball. It's like a half yoga ball.
Yeah.
Something like that, but it was like oval. I mean, not oval, but it was circular. It was about that thick. And he had 2 of them, and he would stand on them, do his ball handling, and then he had like this heavy ball, and he just worked on his floaters. I saw him work on floaters. I want to say in that warm up, like before the game, like he didn't shoot no jump shots. He just did all floaters and free throws, but he was doing ball handling on those little circle things. And I'm like, yo, that like what is that? Like that's different. So, yeah. The last guy I got on just recent, Dalton Connect. Got drafted to the Lakers, but he was a bucket like all through his journey. Like he was another one. This dude did not stop growing, and he might grow while you're in the league, but he went from 5'8" to 6'1" as from a junior. Like his junior year, he went from 5'8" to 6'1", and he his senior year he averaged 21 and 6. Well, 21 and 6.5 rebounds. Ended up going to Northeastern Junior College, and it's in Colorado. He went there, and that summer he went from 6'1" to 6'3". Yep, went from 6'1" to 6'3". His freshman year, he averaged 13 and 3, 1 assist. Then he ended up transferring to what was it? So he was at Northeastern, and then he ended up going to Northern Colorado. But that summer, going into that year, he grew another 3 inches. Like so, he went from 5'8" to 6'6" in like 2 summers.
That's insane. That's insane.
That is crazy. And then he took a bigger leap too. So like his freshman year, he averaged 13. That sophomore year, he averaged 24 and 7. Like he was cooking. He ended up committing Yeah, he committed there, but then he took that COVID year because they remember like after COVID, all the kids that were in college they got an extra year. So he took that COVID year and he transferred to Tennessee, and he was cooking there. He won Newcomer of the Year, he won SEC Player of the Year, and obviously he got drafted to the Lakers, the 17th pick. And you seen what he did like just so recently in the preseason. He really tough though, but that's like his story.
He'll be a 10-year NBA player for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's the thing though, like he another one where like them growth spurts, he kept his skill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta see how he looked like handling the ball, like with somebody who can guard. I ain't really, with the preseason, he really looked like he was just catching and shooting, maybe one or two dribble pull-ups, but it wasn't something where it's like, he had to get in the bag and showcase some moves and all of that type of stuff. I really want to see that from him, but for the most part, it looked like he kept all his skill with that growth spurt. Damn near 10 inches in 2 summers.
That's crazy. So some guys I'm looking out, I got to pull up the stats. That was my fault. I'll edit this part out. That was my fault for not having the stats on deck.
Oh, no, you smooth.
Apologize about that. But Jay Scrubb, he had a stint with the Clippers, and he was signed to the Celtics last year, but he tore his ACL. But the Celtics are going to bring him back as a in the G League team, so I'm expecting good things from him. He could shoot, he could finish at the rim, good mid-range shooter, good ball handler, 6'6" guard. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the Celtics at some point within the next year or two.
Hopefully, like, I know it's a little off topic, but like the Celtics look good, but I don't see them repeating. Only reason why though is because they didn't add nothing. Like a lot of times with teams that don't repeat, if you look at it like the last 10 years, teams that don't repeat, only team to repeat was Golden State. And that's for obvious reasons. They had 3 of the most efficient 3-point shooters. But teams don't repeat because they don't add. When you don't add, the year you win, everybody's equipping their team to beat you. So like look at Philly. Like they went and got Paul George, Andre Drummond, Caleb Martin, and they still got the core pieces, but like and Reggie Jackson, like they added to beat y'all, but y'all didn't add nothing to stay where y'all at. Y'all just focusing on like, okay, well, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like they gonna kill and nobody's gonna be able to stop them. But y'all gotta gear up to be, you gotta be better than you were last year. And that's the only reason why I don't see them repeating.
My only concern is the lack of shot creation from the bench. Like Pritchard, he can occasionally, but in the playoffs, the past 2 years, he hasn't played well. Sam Howell, the past few years in the playoffs, he hasn't played well. Outside the Dallas series, he played really well there. But like they were unplayable. They weren't hitting shots. They can't really create. We had the perfect guy on the team in Lonnie Walker. He would have been a perfect fit as a slash. He's better than Jaden Springer. He's better than Jordan Walsh. I felt he should have been on the team, but they were like, oh, we'd have signed him. It'd have been an $11 million cap hit. We can't do that. Like, I don't care. We seen it in the fourth quarter of the first game. Like, we was up by a 30-piece. All these dudes that can't create their own shot was firing up a bunch of threes. And then same thing happened with the Wizards. We was up by 30 on the Wizards, put in the deep bench. Nobody could hit a shot or create a shot. So I'm like, I want Lonnie Walker back on the team. Then I'll feel more comfortable with us repeating.
Yeah, like oh man. I'm mad that the Lakers got rid of him. Like he's a good piece to have, like whether you want to start him as a role player or use him as a key guy off the bench. Like he's really good. He just like I feel like, and like what we said about like teams like with that timetable stuff, like not giving these dudes time. Like he could have been a star in San Antonio. Like he was, I don't even know, but yeah,
like the Nuggets could use him right now, bro. Like
Yeah.
you see how talentless that team is. Like they don't have shooting and none of that. They could use him right now.
Man, I don't even know where to start with the NBA with that stuff, with talent and like not keeping guys and all of that type of stuff. But that's like what you just said though, like with the Celtics, like they don't have, a bench. They don't have like a shot creation for coming off the bench. Like all you got is, your starting five and just hoping that we blowing you out. So that way, when we need to give them a break, it ain't gonna be too bad for us coming. With the
I'll consider Pritchard a little bit. Pritchard can kind of create his own shot, kind of.
Like I found out what he does in the summertime. He can hoop. Like, so what he does in the summer is he pays people. Like, he pays other pros, like dudes that play overseas and stuff like that. He pays them to play him like one-on-one. So like he can get you a bucket, but he's just undersized.
Yeah, we need one more guy, and then I'll feel comfortable. That's my only concern, because you know what team we don't match up well with the past few years? The Thunder. They've been smoking us. I don't know what, they beat us by 50 one time. They beat us by 20. Like, they be fucking us up. That's the only team I fear in the NBA. And they got a deep ass squad too. So I'm like, hey man.
But yeah, like I'm sorry, bro. Like, as much as I love like basketball, I just don't see, like, how like with every team that they won, like you can really look and say like, all right, they can win it again this year. I don't feel like that with Boston. I'm sorry. Like, I'm
going to disagree, man. With Derek White improving the way he is, like, and then we get Porzingis back if he stays healthy. So I don't see this beat.
What happens when, like, because of everything that happened and transpired? Like, yeah, their locker room can be like close knit. Like, you want them to be close knit, but it's gonna end up being something. Like, you see how Jason Tatum been playing. Like, he been playing out of his mind. He feels slighted. All the social media stuff. He didn't get Eastern Conference MVP. He didn't get Finals MVP, which was robbery. I don't care what nobody says. He should have won that. He led them in every statistical category. Like, why is he not the Finals MVP or Eastern Conference MVP? He didn't get
like that, man. Like, that's pretty much what I decided.
Yeah. So he didn't get that. Then he don't get no playing time on the USA team. His teammate, Derek White, is getting more playing time than him. Then let's switch it over to the other guy who did get those accolades. He got Eastern Conference MVP. He got Finals MVP. Didn't get a call to be on the USA team. And, it's like people like me who voice their opinion on social media like he didn't deserve none of them MVPs. Like, you got people like that. Then you got people saying he's not marketable, like all of this stuff coming out. And it's like, man, like they got a lot going on. Then, it's something like with Drew and Derek White actually winning gold medals, he probably might be like, man, I'm better than them. Like, I'm way better than them, which I don't know about. He might be better than Derek White. I don't think he's better than Drew Holiday. Like, Drew Holiday is a slept-on star to me. Like, he's really good. But just all of that going on, and then on top of that, like I said, they didn't add nothing. Porzingis is out right now. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna hurt them right now with him being out, but I can't see them. Like, who was their draft pick?
I'm not a fan of him so far. Baylor Shireman from Creighton. I just haven't really been too impressed with what he has going on.
Is he a guard or a big?
He's a 6'6" guard that's supposed to be a shooter, but like he didn't shoot well in summer league, preseason, and in garbage time. I gotta see a little bit more because he was a 5th-year senior, so like he's supposed to be ready. That's what I'm like,
yeah. So I don't know, like,
and plus Brad Stevens, he makes moves without rumors and leaks and all that shit. So
yeah, so maybe
he's gonna make a move.
Yeah, hopefully, like maybe he get rid of JD and Jordan and bring some guys in, because those dudes are young, so he can, you can still sell them. Like, not saying that I want them to get traded, but it's just like you can still sell them and be like, hey, like I'll give you these 2 pieces if you give me this guy, like, and a second-round draft pick, like something like that. Hopefully he can do something like that and bring in something good. But like with that team, like, and everybody equipping to beat them, I don't see them,
I don't know. As long as we keep moving the ball and keep having a balanced offense and keep defending at a high level, I think we're gonna be straight. I'm biased, of course, but
no, okay. I mean, I'm not. Listen, I want people to win, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard to see it. Like,
it's a flaw on our team, and I agree with you with the flaw, like the shot creation off the bench. I'm like, I don't like it.
Like, look at like Milwaukee, the year they won. That was what, 2021?
Mm-hmm.
So they won and they didn't add nothing. Literally, they didn't add nothing. They kept the same squad, and now fans are able to come back to the gym. What's the referee name from that changed the whole series? That series,
Scott Foster.
yeah,
He's the
changed.
worst.
If he don't ref that last couple games of the series, Milwaukee don't get that championship. But also, like I said, they didn't add nothing. They just kept Giannis and Thanasis and was like, all right, we good. And they, but they didn't add nothing, and they didn't even sniff the Eastern Conference Finals.
Back-to-back first-round exits, low-key. Like, everybody's thirsty to just put them in the upper echelon of the East. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I like what Orlando got going on a little bit more than them.
Yeah, Orlando's a sleeper, man. Like, I'm pulling for them. I like them, and they got my dog KCP. You know, that's forever gonna be my guy. Like he was like one of the first NBA dudes that I was around that like actually was like cool. Like I worked his camp when he was here in Detroit.
Oh,
and,
word.
Yeah, he was like, you know, we worked out together, got some shots up and stuff. He was like, hey man, like, what you doing? I'm like, well, and literally I had just came back from the little G League tryout and stuff like that. I went to New York and played up there. And like he was like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm just waiting on the contract from the G. And he was like, okay, for sure. And then we worked, like I said, we worked out 8, and probably like he was right next to me when I got the email for that I was gonna be in the draft. So I'm like, you know, he was just as hype as me. He like, man, like that's what's up, man. You gonna get it, bro. I'm like, that's why I say like he forever gonna be one of my guys. Where I'm like, yeah, like I fuck with him. But
yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah,
like,
but he
arrogant, egotistical. That's real.
Yeah, he was, like I said, he was just cool as hell, down to earth. Like he ain't really like, he wasn't like super like, hey man, like let's go do this. Let's go. He wasn't super like active in being like that. He just a chill, laid back person. So he was like, it was a good experience though being around him like that. Like I think it was like 2-3 days around each other like that. But yeah, but they got Orlando. They got KCP. They got Paulo. Like he's a rising star. He's gonna be a superstar. But then they got the Wagner brothers, like that. The one
Franz is really good.
Yeah, Franz, he's amazing. He's gonna be a star.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know. I seen something on TikTok. I didn't know Jalen Suggs was that cold defensively.
Yo, him and KCP are gonna cause nightmares for other opposing backcourt.
Yeah, he is a monster defensively. He like Alvarado, but like with more size. Like, you know, he ain't sneaking and getting steals. He's just a pest defensively, and he got quick hands. Like that little swipe block that little guards be getting, which I hate. I fucking hate that shit. But he get that shit like a lot. I'm like, yeah, he's nice defensively. Like they're gonna be straight. They just gotta stay healthy.
That's it. Like I have them ahead of Milwaukee as far as, I don't know, just the Paolo. He's such a cold scorer. Like Franz and Mo, they got good chemistry. Then you got Gary Harris hitting the threes off the bench. They got a real nice blend of youth and veterans. My only issue is I wanted them to get a better point guard. I know they drafted Anthony Black last year, but I feel like Tyus Jones was in free agency for so long. I wanted him to go there so bad.
That Black kid, he's gonna be nice. He got the size and he got the skill. He's gonna be nice. He just need like maybe this year and next season will be like a breakout season for him, but he's gonna be nice. Like I like what I've seen from him, like just so far. Like just looking at his game and seeing like how he matches with the talent that they got. Like he kind of like, I'm not gonna say he dialing his game back, but he just playing at a pace of like it's okay for this right now. But when it's like when he like maybe this after this season and next year when he get going, they're gonna be like, you are a guy. Like you gotta be like this. Like he can be up there with like not so much with mellow ball, but he can be in the realms of that, like being a star.
Yeah, man. Orlando's gonna be a top 4 seed, I believe. I made a video on the TikTok about Cleveland, and I believe in them under Coach Atkinson. And Evan Mobley, if he takes the next step and is consistently aggressive, that opens up a whole nother window and lane for the Cavaliers.
I like them. They need one more. They need a 3-man.
Yes, 100%.
Like, they need a scoring 3-man. Like honestly, it's funny. Tobias Harris came from Philly to Detroit. I feel like Tobias would thrive in Cleveland.
You know who I think they should go after, and they probably will by the trade deadline? Cam Johnson from the Nets.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good 3-man. It won't be too expensive to get.
Yeah. See, with him, it's just like, is he consistent enough to be that? You know what I mean?
Oh, I feel what you're saying. Like, he is just kind of spot up. I was just thinking of, like, you don't have to give a whole lot of assets to get him. It's one guy that I think will fit perfectly, but his contract's too big. That's Jeremy Grant from Portland.
Yeah, he would definitely be nice for them. Like he would be nice. Like long, athletic, like he would be nice. Like
20-point per game score on the low.
Yeah, but he'd probably have to dial that back to like 12 to 15. Just because you got Darius Garland and you got Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell and Mobley. Yeah, if they was to pull that off, I'd be a little scared. Like, shout out to Maryland and Jeremy Grant too. Another Maryland guy. But it's just, I don't know. I do like Cleveland. I like Coach Atkinson. I felt like he got a raw deal by the Nets because he took that mediocre team with D'Lo, Spencer, Dinwiddie, and LeVert to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought in KD and them, and he got half a year. They got him out of there. I thought that shit was whack. I didn't like that.
Yeah, the NBA crazy, man. Like it'd be so much going on that we don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got going to do like 5 more minutes, then I'll wrap it up. Okay. Currently, I'm flipping through channels. You see my eyes just going like up and down and shit. I'm flipping through different games.
Oh no, you smooth.
Yeah, Grizzlies and Rockets, they playing. Hawks and Hornets, they're in a tight game in the fourth quarter, 95-93.
I seen Melo was doing something crazy. He was toying with him or something I had seen. I'm like, oh shit.
I'm gonna have to tune in. Like, if they can stay healthy, because he's only played 36 and 22 games the past 2 years.
Yeah, he need to change his brands of shoes.
Oh, Puma, you think that's the reason why his
It's either that or it's messed up to say, but it's either the shoe brands that he's using or him and his brothers was just born with their mom's lower extremities. Like as far as ankles and knees, because like you got Lonzo's knees was terrible and then his ankles ain't that great.
Right.
So that's why, like athletically, it's either the shoes or it's either they was genetics. Yeah, genetics was just on the wrong end. Because I never heard nothing about Jello though. Like Jello, I never heard nothing about him having any injuries or nothing like that. But Lonzo and Melo, they both got like, some severe injuries where they got to sit out.
Yeah, I'm pulling for them to make the play-in, especially shout out to Charles Lee, former Celtics assistant, former Bucks assistant, black man coaching. So I'm pulling for them.
Oh yeah, man. Like they got that Hornets team look good. Like they really do look good. Like they got Miles back. Like that's gonna be. He's already tough. Like did they keep the big from Duke? He's like a 7-footer.
Mark Williams.
Yeah, did they keep him?
Yeah, he's currently hurt. But like when he's healthy, that's a double dude right there. He's really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with him and Melo, like they can be like James Harden and Clint Capella when Harden was in Houston. Where you pick and roll to a lob because you never know what Melo gonna do. But yeah, they look good though. I like them this year, but I think my sleeper team right now, I'm trying to think like it might be because I ain't gonna lie, I gave up. Like I love Paul George. Paul George, one of my favorite players, but I kind of like that whole Joel sitting out back-to-backs. Now they got Paul George probably going to sit out back-to-backs. Because, like, me and my brother talk every day, and we talk basketball every day. And I'm like, Philly gonna do it. This is before they did the back-to-back stuff. I'm like, Philly going to be nice, man. I'm like, they got Paul George, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and they just got, they got Andre Drummond. I'm like, Andre Drummond can take over for him for a little while so he ain't got to play that many minutes. And then they came up with this non-back-to-back stuff. I'm like, they cooked. I'm like, so the East is gonna be. I'm like, honestly, I was like, the East gonna be Milwaukee or who did I say? I said Milwaukee or Boston. I said that when Philly came up with that. And I'm like, it's gonna be Milwaukee or Boston because Dame got he about to get another season with them under his belt. So it's like he gonna get acclimated. And you seen what he was doing in the preseason. Like he came out cooking.
For sure. So like I knew that Philly shit wasn't gonna work out. Growing up, being so close to Philly, them fans is treacherous. That media, them niggas is dark, bro. Like that's a dark fucking place to try to play. And Paul George, mentally, he's never been in a situation like this. He's been in small market teams or the B side with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. Like Indiana media ain't gonna be on your scalp like that. Neither is OKC. Neither are the Clippers. Philly fans will fucking fight you, bro. They'll pull it.
Like that's what's weird though. Like Philly fans and Knicks fans, like they weird. Like I know you want your team to win, but you don't downplay them. You know what I mean? Like that's the weird part. Like look at the Clippers. The Clippers this year with what the owner just did. Like they got their own arena now. Like he involving the fans a lot more. Like that's a place, like that's a team where you got people like, man, I want to play for that franchise. Like at first it was like, no, I ain't going to LA. Like I ain't going to the Clippers because they the Lakers' little brother team. They play at the Lakers arena. Fans be at Clippers games with Lakers attire on. Like, so it's like you don't want to go there. Now it's like you want to play there. Like Philly fans and New York Knicks fans need to adopt that mentality of like, man, like we need to praise these guys. Yeah, so you ain't play good, you gonna win the next game. Like that's what they need to adopt that mentality because when you playing somewhere, like me personally, I like playing role games. Like I'm big in Marvel, so like I'm like I feel like I'm like Thanos. Like I'm gonna come to your gym and I'm gonna kill you in your gym in front of your people, and then I'm gonna leave. Like. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. But like nobody wants to play at home and your home fans might rag on you if you're getting cooked.
The city has to change this mentality. Like I said, I'm close to Philly. So like as a whole, like I don't know why the fuck they call themselves City of Brotherly Love. That's a fucking lie.
And it's not. It's definitely not.
Like, I don't even want to downplay because I do like going out there. Philly's a beautiful city, but like them niggas is dark, bro.
Yeah. I've never been to Philly though. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like actually, it's a nice city, man. They got about 1 million people plus. Like you got some nice parts out there. It's really underrated. Like, and it's a nice city, but it's just I knew it wasn't gonna work out because the media is so intense, and Paul George ain't used to that. So I don't know. I'm not a believer. I'm a believer in Tyrese Maxey, but the team overall. I just think it got some clunky fits. Kelly Oubre is a good player too, but I don't fear that team at all.
Yeah, they might not figure. They might not get it right away. They'll figure it out though. Like by midway through next season, they'll probably start looking a little, looking like, okay, this is a well-oiled machine. Like you got Paul averaging 20, you got Tyrese averaging 20, you got Joel Embiid averaging like 25, 30. Like it'll, you know what I'm saying? It'll look good. Then when you got all the role players, like they role players, so they gonna have that. But you got to get your main guys like going to where they all like just
like how do you build the chemistry if they ain't playing in back-to-backs together?
Exactly, and that's the thing too. Is like Gilbert Arenas said that on his podcast, and he was like, it might be a game where Joel played good one game, but he got to sit out the next game. And the game that he played good, Paul George is probably sitting out and he's playing the next game. And it was like, and Dwight Howard, he was on, what was it, Thursday? He was on and he made a good point. He was like, you got Andre Drummond, play him like, let Joel, instead of playing Joel 38 minutes, play him 25 to 30 minutes and let Andre Drummond play those other minutes. So that way he's not overcompensating himself and overworking himself. Because honestly, like my thought process is like I don't trust Joel Embiid just because like I feel like he wanted that MVP so bad that he overexerted himself. He got MVP, and now it's just like, okay, I got my MVP. Like right. He feel like he's solidified. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's his thought process. Like I got my MVP, I'm solidified.
Oh, so you don't think he's hungry anymore?
No.
Hey, after that gold medal, like I gotta look at him that way too. Like I said it when him and Kawhi went out for the gold medal. Why the fuck are they trying out for Team USA? Neither one of them dudes is durable. Like you ready for that, but you're not ready for the team that pays you. It's a little weird, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so he got an MVP and he got a gold medal, and all of a sudden, oh, I probably won't play in back to backs for the rest of my career. Like the rest of your career, like damn,
Right.
like you. I could see if you said maybe to start the season, like I'm not gonna play in back to backs, but to say the rest of your career, like you shitting on all your fans. Like it's little kids that want to come see you that probably will only have money to see you that game, and it's a back to back, so I'm not playing. Like,
Yeah, it is whack. Yeah, that's whack as hell. Like,
and like, granted, I'm not, like I said, I'm not shitting on nobody. I know what it's like to go through workouts every summer and make sure your body right and doing all. I know what it's like, but I just can't rock with that. Like to say, like, yeah, like I won't play in back to backs. Like even if you like, you ain't even got to play all your minutes. Literally, you can just start the game, play the first quarter, and then be like, yeah, that's it. Like I'm gonna shut it down for the rest of the night. At least, at least that your fans, whoever came to see you play, saw you play. They saw you put up a shot. They saw you block somebody's shot. They saw you shoot some free throw. Like they saw you interacting in the game. But to say you won't play in a back-to-back for the rest of your career that's insane. That is insane. Like I said, I can see if he said maybe for the season until he feel comfortable. But like to say the rest of your career, that's wild.
it is. And personally, I think the East has gotten better. So
Wait,
doing this whole like they playing a dangerous game. They might be a playing team. They keep fucking around.
yeah, like doing that, you definitely looking to be a playing team.
Like last I saw, I got to check because right now I'm on the Hawks and Hornets game. Man, Trae Young and LaMelo having a shootout. Like LaMelo got 34, Trae Young got 31. But like they were down to the Raptors. So they putting all this pressure on Tyrese Maxey. Like, yeah, you got good role players, but it's a lot of money invested. It's title a bust. Y'all ain't been out the second round since 2001. Like the process been going on since 2014.
Right.
Like we gotta get some answers, man. Y'all can't just keep like coming up short.
Yeah, that's tough. Who you like in the West? What's your sleeper and key team in the West?
I got OKC coming out of the West. My sleeper, I'm not. Man, that's tough. So I liked New Orleans before all of them injuries came through, especially with DeJounte Murray breaking his hand. That hurts.
Yeah,
Trey Murphy's out too. But man, I don't want to call Minnesota sleeper. I like the Julius Randle in Minnesota more than a lot of people did.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And I'm glad Julius and Ant-Man had that 30 and 30 last night. I think that was dope.
That was so crazy. If they can do that, if they can keep that up, and Nas Reed at his little 15, you got Jaden McDaniels like adding his little 12 to 15. That's gonna be tough to stop.
And the crazy thing is they said like Ant-Man and Randall were the first Timberwolves in history to have both 30 points and 5 3-pointers made. I'm like, Ant-Man and Cat never did that?
Because Cat, like, I feel like Cat is a rhythm. He more so rhythm. Like if he getting touches and he's seen one or two go in. Now he got a rhythm to where he can keep it going. Like that game he had 60, they lost, but he was getting most of the touches. So yeah,
Right.
but like I think
I'm still trying to think of sleeper in the West. Like I got okay.
It might not seem like a sleeper because of the names, but my sleeper is Phoenix.
You're buying in the Phoenix stock?
Yeah, I am. Because they got a pure point guard. And like I look at, like I told you, my name the Hoop Junkie. So I look at stuff different. It was a play. Kevin Durant brought it up. Had Brad Beal in the right corner, and you had Devin Booker coming to set the screen from the left wing. He came to set the screen. Now he's the roller, and the way he set the screen, he was in it. He came from the left side, so he set it from the outside in. So when he rolls, he's in the middle. He got it in the middle. Now it's like because you double no matter what happens. If Kevin Durant is in the screen and roll, you're gonna double. So now they double Kevin Durant. He hit D Book in the middle, which means like for one, he's a mid-range assassin. He's not gonna miss mid-range. So he got that all day, but you also got Bradley Beal over in the corner. waiting to catch and shoot. If they can get Bradley Beal to buy into that, like buy into being a catch and shoot guy here and there in certain sets, and they run that set 10 times and like maybe 10 to 12 times throughout the game, that's for sure a 3 or a 2. Those are for sure buckets, because if you don't double Kevin Durant, now he got a small guard on him. You don't show, like, basically you putting pressure on your backside help. So like the dude that's supposed to be in the nail, like when he got to decide if he want to let D Book get a 2 or if he want to let Bradley Beal get a 3, because he's the one that's got to help. Because like I said, you got a forward or a taller defender on Kevin Durant, who they're gonna double Kevin Durant. D Book get it in the middle. Now he gets to make a decision. And D Book is he's a great passer. Like, he's underrated for it, but he's a great passer. And so like,
he averaged 8 assists last year, right?
You say he what?
And say he averaged like 8 assists last year, right?
Mm-hmm. But like I said, so you got that, and you also, like, even without running that set, you got a pure point guard. Like, he's a winning point guard with Tyus Jones. Like, he's tough, and he can actually shoot.
Yeah.
So you got that, and all you got to do is put him in a position where he's making decisions on who gets what shot or what set y'all running, and making sure he hitting these guys in the right spot. Like, and they picked up Mason Plumlee, and then they got another big. I can't remember who it is, but they got another big. So it's like Nurkic got help now, like where he ain't got to worry about, like, all right, I can't overexert myself. Like, he got help in the paint, where it's like, all right, come get me. And he know, like, all right, the paint protected because I got 2 rim protectors or paint protectors. I ain't gonna say rim protectors. Like, he got 2 other paint protectors. So that's why I feel like I'm buying it. I like their big 3, but I like the pieces that they got around it. They the sleeper team though. That's my sleeper, but I think, like, if they don't win it, I got OKC.
Okay.
They look hungry.
Yeah, they're dangerous, man. Like, Chet looked like he done got into the gym. He bulked up. He's playing with more confidence. I'm big on J.W. Williams. I think he can be an all-star at some point.
Definitely.
It's even Ujman Jang. I think he's a good player.
Mm-hmm. Like, they just, the pieces that they got from last year, like, same thing what I was talking about with Boston, is like they got the pieces from last year, but they went and got Alex Caruso, and they got Isaiah Hartenstein. So those are 2 great pieces. Like, once they fully healthy and everybody's in a rotation, that's going to be hard to deal with, because they got it defensively. Hartenstein helps in the paint. Chet is already, he's a rim protector. Chet is a great rim protector. And then just offensively, it's going to be like crazy. That's going to be crazy. Like, that team is really going to be crazy.
Absolutely. And they got 15 first-round draft picks. So if they don't like this iteration of the team, they can chase a star. Yeah. Like, it's just ridiculous, man.
Man.
But to the Suns' point, I do like Coach Bud. He's really great with pace and space. This roster is better constructed than last year. I do believe he can get more out of some of the role players. I like, Josh Okogie, Bol. They have good role players off the bench.
They need to start Bol.
At the 4?
Yep. You start him, now you stretch the floor even more. You can go 4. You can go 4 out, 1 in.
That's a real good point. Yeah, I like what they got going on. They're a playoff team, in my opinion, but I don't know. It's just something missing. I'm not sure.
Honestly, it's just that dominant point guard position. But like I said, if you put it in a set where you got KD bringing the ball up and either Bradley Beal or Devin Booker setting him a screen, that's going to be deadly. Like, it's just no way around it. It's almost like if I'm that coach with the pace and space, I'm adapting how Luka plays offense, and I'm using KD the same way. Because now you got 2, like you know what I'm saying. KD is already hard as hell to guard, but if you put him in a situation where it's like just go 1-on-1, and if they help at the wrong time, you got D Book over here or you got Bradley Beal over here, you got Bol on the wing, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, that's hard to guard, and on top of that, that's a hard lineup to score on. You'll have Bradley Beal, D Book, they not great defenders, but they can guard. You got them two. Then you got KD at the 3, Ball at the 4, and Nurkic at the 5. That's a big lineup. Like, I'm pretty sure you can they're gonna throw that lineup out there at some point in time. And then you got Grayson Allen coming off the bench. You can use Tyus Jones coming off the bench to lead that group coming off the bench. Like it's just the possibilities with that team is gonna be good. That's why I say I like what they got going on.
I dig it. If I was to take a sleeper team, and this is probably my last point, I'm gonna say Houston Rockets. I liked how they ended last year. I feel like Jalen Green asserted himself to another level. I'm a big Alperen Sengun fan.
Mm-hmm.
2010 and 5 guy. They got some decisions to make when it comes to Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. They got so much young talent. And Amen Thompson needs to play more. Reed Shepard needs to play more.
DMV guy down there too. That's another reason why you like them.
Oh, you talking about Cam?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not he's nice, but it's just like
talking shit.
Even Tari Eason. Like, they got so many young, talented players. I'm like, they wanted to make a move or two to consolidate that roster, man.
Let it run wild. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they young, so it's like, take a chance on them just being young. Just let them run wild. Like, I don't know why NBA teams don't do that. Like, all right, we young, we got a lot of talent. Let's just go out here and hoop and see what happens. Like, instead of like how you said, like making moves and getting vets and doing this and doing that, like just maybe for a season or two, let something happen and see what happens. Like, you got your defensive guy there, you got Dylan Brooks, you got somebody that can help keep these young guys in order. Like, all right, man, I know y'all get buckets, but let's hone in on locking up. Let's take pride in playing defense. We got the length, we got the size. Let's play defense first, and then y'all get to what y'all want to get to. Like, we ridiculously athletic. Then we got Sengun, like he's the baby Jokic. Let him be, you know what I'm saying? Let him be that. Let him be the next version of Jokic. Let him post up and throw lobs out of the post like that. You know what I'm saying? Throw some sets in there where you get these guys playing and having fun playing like that. Like, when the minute that you take away something, that's why Boston. I know we talk about Boston a lot, but look at Boston when Jason Tatum then went to the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron. Man,
that was fun. That whole team was fun, man.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was fun. They fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they played against LeBron. Like that, it's LeBron.
Took them to 7 games, bro. Like, it was what it was.
But they took a 2018 LeBron to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They were young. That's what I'm saying. Adopt that style. Like, let them hoop. Like, just let them hoop and see what happens. I'm pretty sure you're going to like the end results. Maybe it might not be a championship, but you'll like the end results where guys got confidence, guys know their role, guys is playing at a high level every night because they having fun.
That's what OKC and Orlando did, for sure. And you see that it's paying dividends for both of those teams.
I ain't never coached. I don't want to be a coach, but I know some recipes on winning. You got to talk about it. Your accent, man, it get me. Like, I love, like I said it on when I was talking about Sam Cassell on TikTok. I'm like, he went to Dunbar. What's his name? Lou Young made it. He made it funny. Like, I always used to say it like dudes from Baltimore got like an accent. I'm like, bro, there's something about the accent, the way they talk. Like,
they be killing me for that on the videos, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Like, everything, like when y'all certain stuff y'all say, like y'all A and R words is all together. Like, car is car, bar is
that's some Boston shit. Yeah, we'll say motherfucker though. Like, we don't say like motherfucker and like we don't. All right, so honestly speaking, when we're from Maryland, we didn't know we had an accent until we left the state. Like, we just was regularly talking. We didn't think we had an accent. And then I moved down to Virginia. I was like, ooh. I noticed this shit. Like, oh.
It was like that for me, like, because for middle school, I went to middle school in Louisiana. Like, my mom from Louisiana. So, like, when I moved there, like, I'm thinking I'm talking, like, slang. And they like, bro, you talk proper as hell. Like, where you from? I'm like, from Detroit. And they was like, y'all talk like that in Detroit? And I'm like, how I talk? Like, I'm thinking I'm talking ghetto, but like down there, everything is like I was in like right outside Baton Rouge, so like it's like this. That's like the country, like
They got their own lingo, man. They got their
man,
own lingo.
I swear. And like orange isn't orange down there.
Earn.
Earn. And it's like it ain't like we like what do y'all drink like a Coca-Cola? Like what do y'all call that? Y'all call it
We
soda?
call it soda. We ain't them country niggas calling it pop. Like that's what y'all do.
Oh, don't do us like that. We call it pop in Detroit.
Oh, that's some Midwest shit. You right. I got family in Ohio. Like
Okay.
they sorry.
Yeah, so we call it pop, but when I went down to Louisiana, they're like my auntie was like, hand me a cold drink. I'm like, fuck is that? She's like, a cold drink. So I'm like, I don't know what that is. She was like a Pepsi or a Coke. I'm like, oh, a pop? And she like, what is that? I'm like, a pop. Yeah, like it's just man, but y'all accent, it's just funny like hearing y'all talk. Like,
you know what somebody said, we sound like some hood British niggas. I don't hear that shit at all. Like I don't hear it at all, bro.
It's like when you say two, you say two. Like it's like
yeah, that shit real.
Instead of being TOW is TW. I said TOW. Instead of being TWO, it's TWEWW. Like two or like.
Oh, we'll spell it TEW. Like you'll hear it with that. Like we don't say little, it's like lul. So you'll see a lot of people spell LOR. That means lul. Like I mean, shit. That means little.
Yeah,
because we don't pronunciate our words, yo. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, see, like that's what's crazy. But everywhere got their own little slang. Like in Detroit, we say "what up, though," and in Indiana, in Indianapolis, they say "how you what,"
nasty and all that shit.
Yeah, they say "how you what," or they like "what's cool." I'm cool and nasty. Like that's their lingo. And then it's funny because when I played in Tampa, my roommate and we was close as hell. That's my guy. Like he was from that. And he used to be like, I'm like, bro, like, how y'all be talking? And he like, we say, how you what? I'm like, that's weird as hell. But it mean the same thing as like, what up though? Like y'all got something like that when you see somebody like, hey, my boy, like, what's good? Or
what's good, dummy?
You said what?
What's good, dummy? That's what people say.
That's one thing. I don't think I've been able to live there. Like
so like when I first heard it, I wanted to fight, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, the fuck you mean? And that's one thing we say too, like, fuck you mean, Doug? Like, you'll just hear different things. So we're aggressive, we're disrespectful. We're not really nice people, bro. Just be honest. Just be real.
Hey, real life, because so like Tank from where Tank from? Baltimore?
He's from Baltimore, born and raised.
So when Lou Young was making those videos about how people from Baltimore talk, he had commented like, yo, like stop doing this. You ain't from here. Like, so I'm like, damn, like he just, he ain't.
Lou Young is from DC. That's the funny thing. You remember I told you earlier, Baltimore, DC don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
That shit real. So he's like, yo, you dissing the city, nigga, fuck you. But it's 45 minutes up the street. We should be making money together, but.
Right. But that's the thing is like, that's why you said like we not nice niggas, and it's like Tank, like he ain't really like a social media like troll or nothing. But for him to do that, it's like damn, like that's how he make his money, making fun of shit.
Nah, man, niggas just really confrontational. Part of it is like the lead in the water and then the buildings and shit like that. I'm just being real because like a lot of people got paid off due to like lead being in schools and shit like that. Oh, so that's the thing. Like, we're not really mentally all the way rat tight, kind of.
That's crazy.
Like, fans have fought Baltimore Ravens players. Like, we just a little different, man. Like,
dude, that's wild, bro. Like, that is wild.
Yeah, like it's like, and I hate to be like this because Baltimore has such like a negative connotation. It's some great people from here, but like overall, it's a dark energy in the state. That's one reason why I kind of left, man. Like, my hometown. We had a billboard in my hometown to where it says talk to your kid for heroin does. And another one has how many people overdose from heroin. And they update it each month. So imagine you just walking down the street, riding down the street. You got to see how many people died from heroin every single
day. I mean, I can't even front. Like Detroit was like that for a long time. Like where it was just that crab in the bucket syndrome. Like, Literally, like I've seen it too many times. I still get it now. Like I still like. I'll give you a prime example. So I got the Juco Kings podcast, right? I got roughly like 3,000 followers. I got 3,000 followers. When I post something in my story, you can see, like, when you slide it up, you can see how many people watched your story.
Mhm.
I'll get, like, if it's something basketball, I'll get like 300 views, but I only got 126 subscribers on YouTube. But then, like, I'll do a poll. I'll do a poll where, like, I'll be like, who would you rather? Like, would you rather Shea or Luca? People will vote. Like, I'll get, like, the votes would be crazy. I did this on purpose. Like, I'm different. Like, I think different. Like, you, like, the more and more you, like, talk to me, you'll see, like, this dude thinks on another level. Like, so I did a poll, and I just did this because I'm like, I want to see how many people actually fuck with me and how many people really just follow me just because they see me hoop somewhere or they know me from hooping with somebody else that they know. So posted a poll where it was like, who would you rather, Shea or Luca? People voted. I had 370 views. Did another one where it was a poll. It was like, what would you rather? Would you rather have 300 million and one ring or 50 million and 7 rings? People voted. 370 views. Literally every poll was getting like 370 views. So I'm actually put it out there. I'm like, while y'all in a voting mood, who subscribed to my podcast? And then I put the poll was, I'm tapped in and I don't fuck with it. I had like 300 and something views. 300 and something views, and probably 25 to 30 people voted. Half of that 30 was literally like, I don't fuck with it. And I'm like, I don't know if it was people trolling or if they, what I'm saying, but even if you're trolling, like, why you know what I'm saying, like 9 times out of 10 when people joke about something, part of that shit is true.
Right.
So if somebody was like, you got a big ass head, 10% of that is true. Like, your head might just be big. It might look big on your body. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just shit like that. Like, I'm like, bro, like, that's crazy that I'm getting 300 something views. I only got 126 subscribers, and half of the people that were voting are saying that they don't fuck with it. Like, I purposely put that in the poll, like, to vote. Like, you can either say, yeah, I'm tapped in, or I don't fuck with it. So half of the people that were voting was saying that they don't fuck with it, and then a third of the people that watched my story didn't even actually like say yes or no. And that's why I'm like, yeah, like this, it's just crazy. Like, people don't understand the significance of like social media for real. To be like, yeah, like this shit can help make money like all type of ways. Like, I'm not saying everybody needs to be a social media influencer. I'm not. I just like talking about basketball and talking about people's journey on TikTok. But
it's lane for you. Like the fact that Juco lane's untapped, that's why I believe it's going to work out for you. You just got to, keep putting in the work. I believe in your page for real.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I tell people this all the time. Like, I'm on season 2 right now of my podcast, but I've been sitting on this idea since 2020, and I started it in 2023.
Wow.
But it's because like I didn't know what lane to actually go with, because like I listened to Knuckleheads, listen to All the Smoke, and obviously Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert was like my second favorite player of all time. But so I listened to those, and I'm like, bro, like I can do this. I could talk basketball, but I'm like, I don't want to have the same style of show as all these other people, like Matt Barnes and Stack. They talk to older guys and they talk about certain stuff. Gilbert Arenas, they do a live show every day. Knuckleheads, they talk to older guys about certain stuff. But if you watch my podcast, like mine's is literally like different stuff from all of those, because that's what I watch, or that's what I listen to. So I took something from all of them and made my own little spin on it and put it in my podcast. Like the first question I ask people is high school hoop swag. And that's like, what shoes you was rocking. Like, was you wearing a sleeve, a wristband, or wearing a t-shirt under your jersey? Like, so I asked that, but that's kind of like what they do on Knuckleheads at the end of their podcast. At the end, they like, Quentin Richardson, he asked you like, hey, like, what you do when you first got paid? So that's kind of that's kind of one of the things. And then like on their podcast too, they ask you like who was the first person when you got to the league to bust your ass?
Yes, yep.
Mine's is when did you realize that JUCO was real? Because like I know for a fact when I first got to the JUCO level, I'm like, man, I ain't go to a 4-year, so I'm thinking that every school we playing is gonna be like, you know, 1 or 2 star players, and I'm thinking I'm the star player on my team. I got another couple guys that's like was a star player in high school, so we gonna be good. Ran up against some of these teams where everybody was the man and they all cold. Like I was like, yeah, this shit different. Like the last video I made last night about one of my teammates. The tournament we played in is a team in Chicago called Triton, school called Triton Community College. They beat us by 47.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the most points I ever lost by playing on JUCO level. But
I mean, but like you say, he was in JUCO 09, 2010, right?
mm-hmm.
That's when Chicago put out like their most talent in the NBA. They was really cooking from like 05 to 2012. Like they had hella talent back then.
Yeah. And I don't, but the thing is though, at that time, that school, I think maybe 2 or 3 players were from Chicago that was on that team.
Woo.
Everybody else was from somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so but like, yeah, we lost by 40. And I'm like, and I tell in the video, I said I'm like, Triton was like the Michigan version of, it was the Chicago version of Mott. And Mott Community College here always been a powerhouse. Like they had the year I played them, they had this dude named Meach Miller, my boy Sam Burton, my boy Deion Rice, Doug Anderson, Torian Oglesby, and Bobby Lewis, and a couple other guys. But that Doug Anderson dude, imagine Derrick Rose being 6'5", 215. Like as far as vertical, like the way he jumped.
Damn, that type of power and a couple more. Damn, that's crazy to imagine.
Yeah, and that was coming out of high school. Doug, like, go on YouTube and just look up Doug Anderson. Like he one of those dunk dudes now. Like he a dunk, like one of the dunk influencers type thing. I played against him my freshman and sophomore year. He's like,
I'm definitely going YouTube that for sure.
Yeah, like I really believe he like in high school he had a 50-inch vertical. So you got him. Then you got this dude named Torian Oglesby. He was like 6'7" with like a 7'2" wingspan.
Mm.
And then my boy Mike was nice. Then you like they just had a bunch of guys from all over Michigan. Like I think Meach was from Flint, Bobby was from Saginaw, T.O. was from Saginaw, Doug was from Kalamazoo, Rice and Sam, they from Detroit. They're my homies too. Like, but they was just overall as a team, they was loaded. Like it was literally no stopping them. They had it's funny, they used to they crowd used to put D's, like they printed out paper with D's on it, and every time somebody got a dunk, they'd stick it on the wall. When we played them at their home gym, it was like 12 of them on the wall in the first half.
Damn.
Yeah, they was tough. And I feel like we was a good team. We had 2 bigs. My freshman year, we had 2 bigs from Russia. One of them was 6'9", the other one was 6'10". So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be straight. Like I'm playing, my point guard was fast as hell. Like he was about 5'7", but he had bounce. He could dunk, he could shoot, he was just fast, but he had this. And he ended up leaving like at the end of our freshman year, he left. But we was loaded. We had guys that was cold. Like we had 2 dudes that was like 6'6", but my coach at that school, he was my way or the highway.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you got a bunch of talent and you my way or the highway, you're not gonna be successful at all. And like that's why, like I think my freshman year, me and the one big, his name was Meach. We was actually like pretty dominant, but everybody else was just kind of like role guys because they couldn't. It was hard for them to buy in because it was like our coach tried to scare us into being good instead of just like, man, y'all got talent. We can do this. We can do that. Because he was so caught up on my way or the highway. Like if we had more than 12 turnovers, which would be bad, But if you had more than 12 turnovers as a team, we was running like crazy. So you know what I'm saying? That's why I say he tried to scare us into being good, because it's like, don't make a pass if it's not a for sure open pass, or you know what I'm saying? So you had guys second guessing shit, second
Oh
guessing.
yeah.
So it was like I said, he tried to scare us into being good, because if you turning the ball over, you not making shots, you probably not gonna play. Then in practice, you got to pay for that shit. Like, you got to run. We ran 20 suicides one day, the day before a playoff game.
Why the fuck would your coach do some dumbass shit like that?
Listen, this is probably the most tired I've ever been in my life. And this is all in a 3-day span. So we in practice, and his ankle was messed up, and he had to play me in 1-on-1, and he lost, because 1-on-1 nobody's really staying in front of me or doing too much. So, and he's 6'9" and trying to stay in front of 6'4". I'm cooking him. So he lose. His ankle already kind of iffy because he rolled it like 2 days before that practice. So he had to run. He already on a bad wheel. He had to run. He didn't make the time. Because he didn't make the time, coach, like, the coach is just like, all right, if one person don't make it, everybody got to run.
Mm-hmm.
We had to run. He didn't make it. Had to run again. He didn't make it. He like, all right, we're going to double it up. So we did a double suicide, which is, you run the suicide. Once you touch the baseline after that first one, you right back to the first, like you're running it all over again. Had to do that in 1 minute and 2 seconds. He didn't make it. So we ran another double suicide. He didn't make it. Finally, he just was like, coach was like, Meeks, go sit down. Like, go sit down. You too hurt. So he sit him down. We still had to run. So we ran the ones that he didn't make. We go play the next day. It's a playoff game. We play this school called St. Clair. Point guard that I'm at the time, I'm like off the ball, but I can play the one. But I'm off the ball because we got a point guard that's like, I told her, coach, I'm like, let him play the one. I could score more if he playing the one. Got him playing the one. He started turning the ball over. Coach like, Dez, you at the one. Zach, come sit down. Zach sitting on the bench. So mind you, I'm a starter. So he moved me to the one. So I'm playing the one. The team we playing they press 94 feet.
Ooh.
They press 94 feet, and they top 4 guards all guarding me took a turn guarding me all 94 feet. I played 40 minutes that game. Mind you, the drive from the school I was at, it's like that school is like 2 hours away from Detroit. The school we played at is like 2 hours the opposite direction of Detroit. So we had to drive from northern Michigan to West Michigan. So Kirtland is like 2 hours, an hour outside Saginaw. So drive from north of Saginaw to 2 hours west of Detroit. That's a 4.5 hour drive. So we drove that. I played 40 minutes. Then we drove that shit back. Then because we lost, the season over with, and school was already over with. So I'm like, I'm going home. So I drove 2 hours back to Detroit. So I just was in the car. What was that? 4 this way, 4 back. And so I was in the car for 10 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Dickhead, man. Like, he was the real Coach Carter. That shit crazy.
Listen, that shit wild. Like, we got a group, me and my teammates got a group chat where we just randomly talk shit about when we played there. Like, we was on there last night and was like, man, if this and that didn't happen, bro, we would have did this, we would have did that. And we just be going, but it'd be funny as hell. Like, just talking shit about what could have happened and certain stuff that did happen. Like the story I told about the dude filling out a questionnaire for the school we just lost to, shit like that. People getting kicked off the team, random shit just happened at that school all the fucking time. I cannot make it up. The funniest shit was when we seen somebody, if we was all together on campus and we seen another black person that didn't play basketball, we would run up to him hey, bro, what the fuck you doing here? Because it's what purpose do you serve in northern Michigan and you not playing basketball? That used to be the funniest shit ever. Because it was 15 of us? No, it wasn't even that many. It was X, Jamerson, Rio, me, Brian. It was probably like 10 to 12 of us, the black dudes. In a city and surrounding area of nothing but white people.
That's an adjustment. We're gonna have to continue that convo. That story on that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This was fun, man. We definitely gotta spin this back again for sure.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate you for sure, man. And keep doing what you're doing with bridging the gap too, man. These young players need to know like where certain skills and all that came from these older guys, man. Like it's a lot of people that paved the way for these younger guys, and they need to know that, man. So keep doing that. You already know I'm tapped in with you on that.
Appreciate that.